What happens when a dedicated soldier starts having an illicit affair with the beautiful wife of his strict commander? This is an intense and gripping story that explores forbidden love, betrayal, and the consequences of passion. The film begins with a high-ranking commander praising his dedicated comrade, Gwong, who is also an army cook. The commander gives Gwong a valuable wooden plaque and warns him to take care of it as if it were his life. Meanwhile, the commander's beautiful wife, Su-Ryeon, comes out for dinner and Gwong leaves. In the following days, Gwong performs his duties with great sincerity, including cleaning the house and garden. The commander notices his hard work and is very pleased, cutting the names of all other comrades from the promotion list except for Gwong. Su-Ryeon starts noticing Gwong and becomes attracted to him. He sees her watching him from the window but quickly looks away and gets back to work. At the dinner table, the commander announces that he is going on a top-secret mission for a month. He vents his frustration about doing hard work while others take credit, and promises to visit Su-Ryeon's family when he returns. After the commander leaves, Su-Ryeon tries to get Gwong's attention by throwing the valuable plaque on the ground. Gwong quickly picks it up, and Su-Ryeon explains that whenever the plaque is out of place it means she needs his help, and he must come upstairs. One evening, Gwong returns from work and sees the plaque out of place, indicating Su-Ryeon needs him. Though reluctant to disobey the commander's orders not to go upstairs without permission, he decides to go to avoid angering Su-Ryeon. Su-Ryeon asks him to turn on the light and tells him to call her Nuna instead of Madam when no one else is around, as she is only 4 years older than him. Gwong finds himself attracted to her as she assures him that she is not as strict as her husband. The next day, the plaque is out of place again, but Gwong hesitates to go upstairs. As the day passes, Su-Ryeon angrily asks why he didn't come up despite being back from work for hours. She commands him to bathe before meeting her, and when he returns, she is in lingerie. Embarrassed, he quickly averts his eyes. She calls him a coward and a fool before walking away. That night, the comrade warden visits Gwong to inform him that Su-Ryeon has ordered his dismissal, claiming he doesn't uphold the serve the people teachings and wants him replaced with a smarter officer. The warden warns that if Gwong doesn't change her mind by morning, he'll lose his job and won't be promoted by the commander. Gwong recalls his past when his mother pressured him to marry. He promised his bride's father that he would join the party within 3 years. Although he married the girl, his dream of becoming an officer within a year was not realized, leading him to become an army cook. The next day, Gwong writes a self-reflection as an apology and pleads with Su-Ryeon on his knees not to fire him. She orders him to strip naked to serve her. He obeys and they become intimate. The scene flashes back to his wife making him promise to obey his superiors, achieve high military ranks, and write this pledge in blood before they could be intimate. Returning to the present, Gwong and Su-Ryeon have sex, wrapped in a curtain. She tells him to leave and informs him he won't be fired. In the next scene, an officer accuses Gwong of smoking at work and having an affair with the commander's wife. Gwong angrily punches the officer and leaves after verbally abusing him. That night, the officer's comrades beat up Gwong, warning him not to cross them. The following day, he visits the commander's house and finds Su-Ryeon naked, pointing a gun at his head, asking if he's more afraid of the soldiers or her. He seduces her, and they get intimate until she collapses from weakness. When she wakes, she tells Gwong she has no regrets, even if she dies. The next day, Su-Ryeon makes soup for him, kisses him, applies first aid to his wounds, and trims his toenails. The following day, Gwong secretly takes Su-Ryeon outside the cottage in a large sack on his bike. They explore beautiful places. The scene cuts to them having sex in the bathroom, but the commander arrives. Gwong claims he's doing laundry, but the commander shoots him and then aims at Su-Ryeon. Before anything happens, the scene reveals Gwong was having a bad dream. At night, Gwong meets Su-Ryeon outside the commander's house. She promises to ask the commander to promote him and expresses her wish to be with him instead of her husband. The next morning, they cook and have breakfast together. Su-Ryeon asks if he's tried wild ginseng ale and suggests they drink it to celebrate. While drinking, Gwong asks how she ended up marrying the commander. She explains that before marriage, she was a student of the Premier's book and recited over 100 quotes to the commander without error. Impressed, he married her. However, he was strict and dedicated to his work, never becoming the man she wanted. She reveals that he was injured in battle, rendering his lower half dysfunctional, unable to satisfy her in bed. They dance after drinking the ale, while the chief warden secretly watches, suspecting that Gwong and Su-Ryeon are more than just mistress and servant. The next day, Gwong notices most comrades heading to the border. He returns to the cottage, treats Su-Ryeon poorly, and they argue, but she quickly forgives him and they make love. Over the next few days, they sleep together more frequently. Su-Ryeon promises to promote Gwong to an officer. They destroy items in the house out of contempt for the commander, while the comrade warden secretly observes, deeply frightened. In the next scene, Su-Ryeon reveals she missed her period, indicating she might be pregnant or late. She asks Gwong to return to his village to be with his wife and son. The next day, Su-Ryeon gives Gwong some money to buy gifts for his wife and son. On his way home, he notices the commander's jeep heading back to the cottage. When the commander arrives, he finds everything broken, dismantled, and ruined. He quietly cleans up the mess. At home, Gwong's behavior changes as he starts doing household chores like cleaning, cooking, and washing clothes. His wife is surprised and scolds him, saying that an army man like him shouldn't be doing such work. He discovers a wooden plaque with the words, "Serve the people," written on it and begins taking great care of it. One day, when his son rides his bicycle over the plaque, Gwong slaps him in anger. His father-in-law, suspicious of Gwong's strange behavior, questions why he hasn't returned to the base and suggests that he might have been kicked out due to poor performance. Feeling the pressure, Gwong decides to return to his unit, even though no one called him back. The officer informs him that all the officers are returning home because some comrades killed 2 U.S. soldiers at the border, sparking a conflict. He also tells Gwong that his hopes of becoming an officer have been dashed, so he won't be working at the commander's residence anymore and should wait for further instructions. The officer warns Gwong to stay away from the commander's house, hinting that he knows about his affair with Su-Ryeon. Comrade Warden informs Gwong that the party has promoted him to a new job as a plant manager in the city, where he will move with his family to work at the largest electricity plant. Before leaving, Gwong wants to see Su-Ryeon one last time. Captain Warden, who had secretly known about the affair, confesses that he didn't report it to keep the commander unaware. In return, he asks Gwong to convince Su-Ryeon not to have him discharged so his wife can stay in their residence. When Gwong meets Su-Ryeon, he realizes she is pregnant, knowing he is the father. Unbeknownst to them, the commander watches from a distance, aware of the truth. Unable to kill Gwong out of pride, the commander takes out his anger on his uniform, firing an AK-47 at the stars on it. 15 years later, Gwong is now a plant manager. He visits Su-Ryeon's villa but is stopped by a guard who asks who he is. Gwong explains that he worked as a cook there 15 years ago and wishes to see Su-Ryeon. The guard returns with a letter from Su-Ryeon, stating that if he needs money, it will be transferred to his account, but he should never attempt to meet her again. In the end, we see that the commander has accepted Su-Ryeon and Gwong's son, and is living happily with his family. And that's the end of the story. Let us know in the comments how you liked the story, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more movie explanations like this one.